Welcome to GameSpot Live. This time around we'll be talking about The Road to Rome, the official expansion pack for Battlefield 1942. Now, unless you've been living in a cave for the past year or two, you've probably heard of Battlefield 1942. Now, this remarkable game is a first-person shooter set in World War II, and it's a game where pretty much anything goes. You play as one of 5 different soldier classes, but at any point in time you can jump into a number of different vehicles. You can hop into a Jeep, you can hop into an APC, a tank, a fighter jet, a bomber, even a battleship, and just blast your enemies into oblivion. It's really fun and really satisfying. And one of the remarkable things about Battlefield 1942 was that the game actually launched with a couple of annoying technical problems, but the game was so much fun that you could almost ignore them. And now the new expansion pack, The Road to Rome, is out. The expansion has 6 new maps, 9 new vehicles, and various technical improvements. It's not the most ambitious expansion pack ever made, but it makes a great game even better. What The Road to Rome does is it adds 6 new maps which take place in various locations in Italy. Now, the expansion's new maps are generally quite large, and they're actually a bit more balanced than those of Battlefield 1942. If you played the original game, then you know that it was really fun to just jump into a vehicle, whether it was a plane or a tank, and just go storming off onto the battlefield. But there were occasions on some maps where if other people grabbed all the vehicles, you were just kind of left on foot, and you would either have to try to bum a ride off of somebody, or you were just running around hoping that you could get to the next base before the game ended. Road to Rome's maps are much better designed. There's still plenty of vehicles that you can jump into and fly and drive around in, but there are also plenty of places where you can actually do quite well on foot. Road to Rome's maps have lots of varying height. There are lots of different hills, foothills, turns in the road, things like that that have stationary machine gun nests and anti-aircraft guns, so that basically if you're stuck on foot you can actually do quite well for yourself. So while infantry skirmishes have been improved, The Road to Rome also improves on vehicle combat. The Road to Rome features 9 new vehicles, which are a lot better balanced than those in the original game, just because in the original Battlefield 1942 there were a lot of vehicles, such as tanks and personal carriers, that had mounted guns on top. And the way those worked was that one person would drive and then one person would get out top and shoot. Unfortunately, for a lot of those vehicles, the shooter position was very, very vulnerable. Often getting up into the gunner position meant dying really quickly, about a second later. Road to Rome's vehicles have much better protection for both the secondary gunner and the driver, and they lend themselves much better to team tactics. In addition, the Road to Rome ships with the version 1.25 patch, which has just recently been replaced with the version 1.3 patch. A lot of the technical problems that plagued Battlefield 1942 at launch have more or less been resolved. You'll still run into occasional instances of lag in online games, but some of the other technical problems like occasional crashes and also audio issues with certain sound cards have been resolved. You may be concerned that Road to Rome doesn't really have a whole lot in it to justify the price tag, but the expansion is modestly priced at only $20, and the fact that all the new maps and all the new vehicles that are added are such great fun to play, it really makes the Road to Rome worth picking up. If you're a fan of Battlefield 1942, you really do owe it to yourself to pick up the Road to Rome.